Hello, this is part 2 of the last quarter moon reading for the 26th of December. This was going to be a Chaos Magick rewrite. If you have not watched part 1, you can do so by clicking off now to get the context and then return. However, I'm going to just dive right into it and start intuitively placing cards until the deck runs out so that I can rewrite our future. Are you ready? Okay, we have the Queen of Wands, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and the Knight of Cups, or no, Swords. We're coming into the embodiment of our intuitive knowing of who we are, which is going to put us at odds with people in our lives that no longer serve us. People are going to drop out, and even if it's not people, collaborations, wirings of the mind, ways that we have seen things are going to start changing and falling away. Maybe with this darkness here, the shadow is going to integrate in a way that we will be able to freely speak our truth and come swiftly as we move through the motions of our lives that validates this higher truth with the Queen. Keeps us blossoming and resilient. And that creates harmony in our mind, in our life, in every area. I'm going to put that over these guys. Yay! Okay, we're about to put some shit to rest, you guys. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords, or Nine of Swords in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, the Three of Swords, and then the Two of Pentacles. So I'm going to put this over here by itself. This is past energy. This is what we've been coming through. We are transcending this up at night sadness that keeps us out of control and out of alignment with our higher nature of somebody who can engage with themselves at this deep heart emotional center of the cups. I'm going to upright him because this is, like I said, past energy. What puts him in reverse is the heartbreak. So we're going to reverse this and allow ourselves to be mended as we go through the process and take up the responsibility to be intuitive. Okay, you guys need touch. Making intuitive decisions that break this pattern and cycle. Shoot. Okay, like I mentioned in the previous video, feeling stuck. I'm going to reverse her over here already. No, over here I mean. Okay, so we had the Eight of Swords uprighted. Like I said, I'm going to reverse her because we are unstucking ourselves. And when she is uprighted, when we're stuck, we block ourselves from the Seven of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and strength. But what does it take to get ourselves out of this? A lot of devotion and hard work. So at the core of this, okay, unstucking our... With this upgrade of self-confidence, we start making our decisions based off of a higher, connected, intuitive understanding of the way that we process our life. We put that hard work in to break the cycle of that pattern, thus giving ourselves the strength to move forward in balance toward whatever we want to manifest and see come through in our life. And out of the shadow, do we find what's best for us? And I'm connecting that to these guys down here because they also kind of had some say. There we go. Yeah, see, because we've, over the 8 of Wands in reverse, which is also stuck energy. This is what is to come, right? We have the 10 of Wands. We've been beating ourselves up. We've been creating negative experiences out of unlearned lessons that we have to continuously repeat in order to learn it. So I'm going to reverse him here, because that is what keeps this in reverse. We don't move on when we keep the perception of a victim. Now I'm going to upright the 8. We have the sun in reverse. When we look at nothing but the rain clouds, we never see the rainbow. And weird, I just said that to somebody literally before I pressed play. And it was the same person I talked about in the first video. So we're talking about surviving through the storm to see the way that this sun can rejuvenate our perspective and shine or reflect rainbows of light into our life from the saturation of that damp energy that we experienced before, our own tears, you know? And then we have the Lovers. The Lover starts with loving the self and integrating the masculine and feminine energy. How are we going to attract people who can unconditionally love us when we don't unconditionally love ourselves? We have the 8 of Cups in reverse and the Death card. So what this does, this whole process allows us to transform into a new era of movement. We've been stuck for years in this cycle. And it hasn't been working for us, has it? We're still moping around. So I am declaring this transformation here. So I'm going to put this card, okay, I'm going to put this card over the 9 of Wands in reverse, which then this transformation leads us to the 8 of Wands being uprighted, so that we can start integrating these shadow aspects of ourselves that trip us up or have tripped us up in the past with unconditional self-love and love of others that creates a complete renewal. So death and rebirth, there's a baby here, right? And that will lead us to movement in other areas of our life and emotional understanding of ourselves. So we've got movement in the Wands, which is our fiery, spiritual, intuitive self that leads us to having a better understanding of our emotional selves. We have the Queen of Cups. Heck yes, counterparts. Look at the end game. Look at the end result here. We've got this transformation, or this approach, healing this with the becoming the 8 of Cups, leads us into this, and we end up the Queen of Cups, which are the counterparts that are in the Lovers card. Cool beans. More movement and more balance and more integration of masculine and feminine. And, you know, I feel like this is just going to bring in new relationships, new depth in our existing relationships. It brings everything full circle, man. Okay, I see. I want to do this. I put this straight, but I want to do this. so that I can do this. Okay. We have the Hermit in reverse. No more of that energy where we've been in our head, like I said. It's good to let ourselves get to these depths so that we can shine light on them, not live there. Even the Hermit has his little lamp, right? And his wand in his hand. Because what do we do when we're in that level of introspection with the intention of shining light? We dismantle the foundations of these negative beliefs that originally started us in the beginning. We have the High Priestess and the Seven of Swords. So we're putting away these concepts that come up sneaky. The concepts that come up and reestablish this foundation of a negative limiting belief. And when we balance that out with gratitude, which we had up under here, we will gain the perspective of the High Priestess who knows that there is something to offer in everything, and we balance out the darkness with light. We know that everything is a cycle, and we get to go into our life experience with this expectation that these cycles continue, and we know that we have the intuitive understanding that we can process these cycles. So I'm going to put this here because it's like, you know, it's all interconnected. It's a circle now. Because no matter how many times you have to walk this walk, it's literally all in the service of the same thing, which is putting ourselves at a higher understanding of our experience to bring us back to ourselves and see that this life that we live, what it has to offer is a physical understanding of the mental and spiritual experience that we're living with on the inside. And when we can authenticate that and bring that forth, we can manifest a reality that blooms as we go through it, because it's us creating it. We are God understanding itself. We are God remembering itself, just in disguise. If we can remember that at the heart of everything, that we come out of unconditional love, regardless of what that looks like, unconditional, darkness or light, shadow or sun, unconditional love for self and others, and because the others literally are us anyway, then we realize that it's all for the transformation of our spiritual understanding. We need to remember who we are, and I feel like it's imperative that we do, because all of us are going through these shifts right now with everything that's been going on in the energetic collective right now on Gaia and all that. I have the Two of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. So relieving ourselves of this resistance, not making the decision because we don't want to reveal the truth to ourselves by looking at it, giving ourselves the perspective and a deep knowing and understanding, because to do so we must do something about it, taking the swift action based off of our intuition, which causes the new cycle to begin in our physical world. So instead, what we're going to do is that we're going to take up this opportunity. We're going to put it in hand, and we're going to use this as the, I had an image instead of words. I even have this guy at the bottom here. The knight being given a scroll with a mission to go do the thing. What does he do? Oh yeah, okay. And then he goes and does it. What does he tell the king? Oh no, that's not my job. I don't know. Maybe a knight isn't much of a messenger, but whatever, you get the symbolism. Then we have the Queen of Swords. So this whole experience, this night, which is ourselves, rescue or delivering something greater to ourselves, helps us to go to this aspect of self and make our decisions now based off of this level of understanding through the transformative energy. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So it just continues itself to keep that movement that we've just upheaved, I guess. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, the in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles upright, and then the Queen of Pentacles. So when we can choose to take the responsibility to live knowing that our mind, our feeling, and our grounded surrender are the manifestors of our reality, we begin to see everything unfold for us as we envision it and feel into it, and then we realize that we are that creator. So I'm uprighting this guy because we're not in this power. We have not been in this power. We've been creating a negative experience, and now we're going to upright it so that we can get this gain here. Yep. Because what it does is that it teaches us from our personal experience that we can live and function at this level of higher understanding and awareness because everything does serve that purpose. It all feeds into itself. It's all bleeding the same blood. It's all the same pulse and all the same breath. It's teaching everything that we've gone through, everything that we're going through, everything that we're going to go through is a master teacher that we agreed to engage with at some point and forgot. This is the process of remembering. Then we have the King of Wands and the Page of Swords in reverse. So since we've already gone ahead and upgraded to the Queen of Swords uprighted, I'm going to keep this page in reverse because this is a lower understanding, not lower, less mature understanding of how to take action based off of our intuition and feeling. So I'm going to put him here with the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Swords, and then I'm going to put the King right here. Because what we're doing is we're establishing the solidification of this level of healing, where we put this to rest, where this is no longer necessary. I don't even want it touching nothing. Okay. Because once you really genuinely are grateful and express that gratitude to the things that have hurt you in the past, you can't be mad at it anymore because it got you right here where you are right now, right? Then we have the Page of Cups. So it's like once you see this as the offering of a deeper emotional understanding for your life, you start to learn the language, which gives us a sense of control with the Emperor, a sense of higher knowing that we got this in the bag, and then it creates even more harmony. Okay, so if I said the counter or the Three of Pentacles was a collaboration of the pathways of the mind, we just rewritten our thought process, thus rewritten our lives. 33 with the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups is maintaining faith and optimism. And then we have the Page of Wands. So as we go through our process of life now, we can continue to learn. So we have the Knight of Wands here and the King of Wands here, and then we have the Ace of Wands here too. It's like as we continue to go through different processes of learning, we're going to be at different degrees of learning each time we level up. So it's just like continuously going through this, knowing that I'm just going to expand more and more and more as I continue to ascend and see it as such. Victoriously. We're doing this effortlessly at this point. Whoa. Was it only one card? I thought a whole bunch of cards just fell out right now. But either way, heading toward our truest, highest nature as the magician. Because we're just badass like that, you know? I said that at 2033 again also. So keeping in perspective that we gotta stay grateful, because if we maintain optimism and we keep our faith, then we're not gonna backtrack again. We're going to get out of the storm for good. We're not quite there yet, but we can transcend this whenever. It's just a matter of choice. It's hard, but it's not supposed to be easy. If nothing falls in the next two shuffles, I'm going to start reading these out. Okay. I've got the King of Pentacles upright, or I uprighted it, but I'm uprighting him because he's the king, and we want to take these gains, and I'm rewriting it for myself, so I get to decide. Where do you go? I'm going to just maintain the balance and put him with the Queen of Pentacles here so that we can manifest our masculine desires and our feminine desires, and just maintain that balance as we process everything and go through this hard work, because it's going to pay off, because there's going to just be continuously more opportunities for balance and celebration in that. And then we become the beneficiary of all of these things. We get to plant these seeds into our lives around us. And I said that again at 33 seconds. So as we continue to maintain this perspective, we drastically alter the pathway to our future. Because we can continue on the same cycle until we die and not get it. And that's like a real reality. Is that we can keep going forever in this lifetime and not get it, and then go through the process of forgetting again and fragment ourselves again and still not remember. And when we do that, it's still serving purpose. We're still learning. We're still gaining experience. But I feel like this lifetime is really important for some reason, and I won't know until it's done, for myself at least. But I don't think Gaia has very much longer. I'm not saying like, oh, the apocalypse is upon us, but I think we're moving toward a vibration of collective energy that is becoming more and more in tune with figuring out who the collective of Gaia wants to be. And as we do that, the integration of each individual becomes the integration of the collective, and then the collective becomes an individual, a mind, body, a social memory complex. And if the collective has been in a shadow integration process for years now, then the only thing that I foresee coming is a collective integration and a collective healing and a collective shift. And once that happens, the collective will want to become one mind. And it's only a matter of time before the planet is harvested after that point. So I think we're on the precipice of the new beginning for the entire collective. And this work is really important, regardless of how uncomfortable it is to get there. Because us learning how to gain this level of understanding and grounded energy helps us to influence the people around us who don't quite get it yet, who aren't quite there yet, just by being in our presence. Look at him balanced and giving. It's like we become our own renewable energy source, putting away this nature about us that just robs us of anything gracious. And then putting ourselves on reserve. Allowing this higher understanding that everything that we have has been given to us and is worth taking care of and nurturing. Allows us to gain the perspective that our life is worth protecting. Our perception is worth protecting. And then we see everything that comes into our life path as an opportunity. And when that becomes relevant, then are we going to trip in the same way that we have before? We'll make our sound decisions balanced and integrated, just like with the Pentacles. Because what we've done is we have learned how to saturate our entire life with this level of intuition that we learned from the darkness and all the hard work we put into ourselves to get here. Again, like I said, in control of our mind, our spirit, our body, and what's the other one? Either way, just learning how to let go and let live and be cliche. Let go of conflict, moving away from conflict. All of these up here I'm keeping because we're getting rid of it. Moving into a new beginning again. As we constantly go through it, we'll see that everything is the opportunity that gives us a chance to practice the solidification of maintaining our faith in optimism in times of pessimism to receive an entirely new world. Heck yeah! I'm excited. I anticipate that things are going to get shitty, but like in a good way. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of us, and I'm proud of me, and I just think it's all going well. Even when it doesn't feel like it is. Even when we don't feel like we're okay, we're okay. Grounding into the moment to understand that by just realizing that the fact that we are tethered to our own breath makes us okay. It's okay to be sad, it's okay to be happy, it's okay to be indifferent. You can't want to live without there being an anticipation of death. I have things written on all of my windows, or all of my mirrors in my house. I was sleeping and I heard this voice loud in my head. It was when I first started engaging with my guides. And she told me, your will to live is acceptable and your will to die is acceptable, but while alive, relinquish the darkness. And I've been doing that. And I urge you to do that. And you're already doing that. I don't have to tell you that. Because the darkness and the light are two ends of the same spectrum. And something that I read recently in a channeled transcript was that something that's very unique to Earth is that duality has been a war in heavens or what have you for forever. Which side of duality are you going to be on? Which side of polarity would you wish to rest? Are you going to be a negatively polarized entity? Negative being, I must take care of myself, egoic. It's still love. Evil used to be spelled E-V-O-L, which is backwards love. Love under the perception that you think that you must take care of the self, take care of the body, not have a higher understanding that we are actually attached to the divine creator who keeps us divinely protected. So that's the love of the self, the concept of the self, of the physical. But then you have the light, or the positive polarity, and that's remembering this, being service to others, knowing that if I love you, I'm loving me because you are me and I am God and we are God together and we're divinely protected. Doesn't matter which end you're on, you're still love. However, with Gaia, we can jump from duality consciousness to unity consciousness for the first time in the physical, in all of the universe, according to this transcript. And if we just remain impartial to duality, and remember that it all is that same spectrum, which is all the divine source of creation, consciousness, regardless of its embodiment or not, embodiment in the flesh, embodiment in the spirit, embodiment of service to self, embodiment of service to others, regardless, it's all one, and we are one. And if we live like that, our negative experience is also one with our positive experience, and we can transcend that and alchemize it much more fluently as we make this process happen. And as we do so, we never have to feel separated from God again. And then we do create this reality as the same way as the entire universe was created the first time. And then we continue to walk with the breath of life and maintain our faith and optimism. I like it. Have a good week.